On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Now it's Fields. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Here's Fields. There's Hall bringing in another one. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
Alex Highsmith simply would not be stopped on that play.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now a carry for Allen. And it doesn't matter who carries it, apparently, as they'll drop him behind the line as well. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
With his size, it often takes more than one guy to get him down, but if you can at least slow him up and the reinforcements arrive, you have a chance to get him on the ground, and that they did that time for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 30. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Escaping the pressure right. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on first down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
2nd and 2, first down marker at the 8. Fields. To the goal line, but It's incomplete.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
So play number 10 now coming. It's been a long opening drive, but this is third down. They'll run with Hall. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. The defense stiffens to force fourth down following that first down gain of 8.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And the now 40-year-old veteran able to put this one through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0.
And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well, so your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
After the made field goal, back out is Nick Folk to kick this one off. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember watching him in college and seeing a guy that you knew had great potential, but I don't know that anyone knew that we would see how he would blossom as an NFL player who will go down as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. Can make every throw from every angle with terrific mobility, and he knows how to win games, always in contention for a championship.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
He was brought down at his 49-yard line. A gain of 21 yards. And a Steeler first down.
Not only an explosive play, but an explosive run. I mean, broken tackles along the way to pick up that yardage.
The way things kept churning for him, feet were moving, the legs were driving. Looks like someone who spent his off-season working on hill work, running through sand, all the things that you want to build up those leg muscles.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Here's Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Warren. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Only a yard there, sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. In motion, the tight end. Now it's Rodgers. Short throw to Smith. And he will have a Steelers first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football. But they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain. So they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Throwing is Rodgers. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Now Rodgers. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. Now a hit and a loose football. Back on the field come the New York Jets for their 2nd drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now Hall to start the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Hall again on 2nd down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field. I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
Fields now to throw. They'll find Lazard here over the middle. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the 1st down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
So on 4th down, out comes Austin McNamara to punt for New York. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin.
And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive in with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Working from the gun, Rodgers. It's Brian by Wilson. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
Pittsburgh.
It's Warren.
And he's going to be brought brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
They'll run it. One. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
35-yard line. An 8-yard pickup. And a Steeler first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Throwing now is Rodgers. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
2nd and 10. Here's one.
And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. From the gun, it's Rodgers.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And a Steeler first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
3-3, a tight one after 1 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
The former 3rd overall pick, Quentin Williams, there to bring him down.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. To throw is Rodgers. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf, 29 yards. And the Steelers have taken the lead. But not only, Charles, did he beat double coverage to make the catch, and then as soon as he did, locked his gaze upfield and made sure to reach the end zone.
Go grab your dictionary, partner. Look up determination, and his picture is going to pop right up. How about him getting through multiple defenders, finding his way through coverage, and making sure he got to the end zone? That's a big-time play right there.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now.
Jets 3.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
is up across the 25 and down at the 28.
So out now come the Jets. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together.
Here's Fields. Pass complete. He's got Lazard on the out route.
2 yards on the pickup there. And that'll make it 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now Fields.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
To throw is Fields. To the left side, he's got the tight end Taylor.
Only able to gain a couple there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
So on 4th down, Austin McNamara comes on to punt.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Now Austin.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, we often talk about defensive ends setting the edge, sometimes even the outside linebackers, but how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Here's Rodgers to throw. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
You know, in boxing, they throw in the towel. In this case, you just kind of wave the white flag, and you think to yourself, if he can just get past that initial wave, he's got a chance to get free. But that screen, it was going nowhere from the start. It forces a 4th down.
On 4th down, Corliss Waitman on to punt.
And taken right on the 30. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt.
And the Jets will take over.
And New York set to take the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Looking to put a drive together. Quick throw complete to Reynolds. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 43-yard line.
Second and a couple. Handoff, running left. Here's Hall.
Fights through it. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
It's a gain of
14 yards is the pickup there and a Jet first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Fields.
That's complete to Lazard. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room.
Credit the tackle to Ron Thornhill.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
They'll run with Allen. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they'll just roam and hit.
Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on 3rd down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
On now is Nick Folk in the field goal unit for the Jets. Made his first, this now from 32 yards out.
And Folk's kick is good.
And that'll bring him back within 4.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the made field goal, back out is Nick Folk to kick this one off.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
And the Steelers set to take the field.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still, they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he powers through the first wave, but he's going to be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a loss of 2.
As a linebacker, you're taught to stay just slightly behind the ball carrier just in case he makes a cutback. But when you find the gap, shoot it. And he found it all right. Took it straight into the backfield and made the tackle for a loss.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ward. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He finds Austin complete. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. That'll go for a gain of 7. And it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
4th down, Corliss Waitman now on to punt.
Taken from just outside the 30. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And now out come the Jets. Looking to put a drive together.
Here's Fields. Taking in left side, it's Wilson.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
A gain of 3 brings up 2nd down at the 40-yard line.
Second down and 6 now. Now it's Fields.
Dancing to his left. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
It's a gain of 23 yards. That's good for a Jets. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And a solid run down inside the 30. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Now that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
10 yards is the pickup, good enough for a Jet first down.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Nothing too fancy, just a carry up the middle, but a successful carry up the middle against this 3-4 defense.
And to be able to do that, what do you have to control? The nose guard, right? Got to be able to move him. Otherwise, you're not getting anything up the middle. Nice job by the center. Got a little help from one of his friends playing guard.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Throwing on 2nd and long. Fields. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A third field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down.
Fields busted. A once-in-a-season chance for the big fella, but he couldn't corral it. Fourth down, straight ahead.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the made field goal, back out is Nick Folk to kick this one off.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Austin brings in the quick throw.
And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
Austin is there and brings in another one. And he'll be touched down at the end, but a big play on that one.
A gain of 25 yards. First down, Steelers.
Well, he's been a busy man in this first half. They've targeted him quite a bit, including both plays here to start this drive. And until that defense starts reacting a little better, they may just keep going back to him.
Now Rodgers.
That's caught right side. It's Warren.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Rodgers to throw once more.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
This now a 3rd and 4.
Rodgers now to throw.
And to find the open man. That's complete.
Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
A gain of 15. First down, Pittsburgh.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers.
That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth.
He'll get only three there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Boswell's kick is good. And the lead grows to 4. It's 13-9. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
A final shot before the break. Fields. And he'll let this go deep for Lazard.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
So halftime straight ahead. Let's get you down to the Sunshine State and Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone. Scott Hansen here in our thankfully dry studios in Orlando. That's obviously not the case at the stadium, where the rain continues to play a factor in this game. Who will take better advantage of it in the second half? To find out the answer, let's go back out to the stadium and rejoin our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scott, thank you. The rain, maybe not quite as heavy as it was earlier, but still coming down pretty good as we prepare for the second half.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Throw left side, complete. That's Warren. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
Well, sometimes despite the best planning, the defense actually has a plan as well, and they blanketed everyone on that play. They were able to close it down and spill him for a loss.
3rd down and 13.
Now Rodgers. He'll let it fly for Austin. They got his man complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line.
And the Steeler first down.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren. And not much running room. Down to the 32. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They got to get to the 23 here on third. From the gun, it's Rodgers. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Andre Cisco. And the Jets are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Hall.
And he'll take this one up to about the 13. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Here's Fields.
On the move, and he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11. Fields now to throw. He'll find Reynolds over the middle. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
The tackle by Quincy Williams.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Here's Rodgers. A short throw to Smith. Just a gain of a couple there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
3rd down and 6.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. The New York set to take the field.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they're going to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
To throw is Fields. This pass out wide to Hall.
They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
And incomplete. They tried to drop it off, but he couldn't hold on.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Here's the Jets punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Fair catch called for. No gimme in these conditions, but he's able to look this one in. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Looking to put a drive together.
Now they show Jets sweep it instead, a run up the middle here.
They'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Short throw to Smith. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
3rd and 3.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
He has just not had his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Now it's Rodgers. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football, and It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position. The D brought the house, they called the blitz, and they get to the quarterback, overwhelming the O-line.
And I would love to know, and we'll find out later on, was that called before the play, or did they audible into it? Because defenses change plays as well as offenses. Sometimes they get the set they want. They go right to the blitz, and in this case, they nailed it. Got right to the quarterback. No chance on that fourth down.
The drive will start with an option going left. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Just a spectacular run by the always dynamic Justin Fields. And the Jets have taken the lead here in this third quarter. So that pretty conclusively, I might add, shows you the perils of going for it and not making it on fourth down. One play, touchdown.
Yeah, and I've got to put this on the man in charge, the head coach. He made the decision to go for it. To me, when punting was the only decision to make, and it backfired on him in a big way.
Nick Folk for the point after. And that one gives them a 3-point lead. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Scott, thank you. The rain, maybe not quite as heavy as it was earlier, but still coming down pretty good as we prepare for the second half. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on fourth, didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on fourth down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride, the offense, this go-around. Oh, now a running play here with Smith. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Here comes 3rd down and 7. To throw is Rodgers. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
The Steelers send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 7 yards on the punt with no return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
The Jets ready to get going again here on offense. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
From the gun, here's Fields.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
Back to throw, Fields.
Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's home. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 3. Now Fields.
A bullet throw, but incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today.
And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
Brandon Stevens there on the tackle.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call, because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
They'll break the huddle, send 3 receivers left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 5.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
On play action, Rodgers. Called a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
On the run, it's Warren. And this is going to be a Steelers 1st down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37.
The 37-yard line. A gain of 7. 1st down, Steelers.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Straight ahead, it's Gainwell.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
2nd and 5.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Flushed out right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Rodgers going to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
First down, Pittsburgh.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now a run with Warren. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what...
Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
New York set to take the field. They'll be hoping to work a little clock and try to add on to this slim fourth quarter lead. But whatever happens on this drive, certainly a huge fumble recovery by their defense at this juncture. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start out here with the option left. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
That's good for a Jets.
It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball, but the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
Throwing quickly to Wilson.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
It's a gain of 9.
Was that a design pass or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Fields.
A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards in the first.
A gain of 9 yards. That's good for a Jets first down.
Partner, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now because he has been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of stopping him, and that's why his side is on top.
And he is going to lose yardage here. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a second and long.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Now it's Fields. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. T.J. Watt, the All-Pro, in there to take him down.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Here's Fields. And he wants Reynolds way downfield. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Just because you've got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
Here's the Jets punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds, and they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line.
The Steelers offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. 56 yards rushing for him now to this point.
And remember, this is a running back that fumbled on the previous drive, but fortunately for them, nothing came of it. And I think when that happens, sometimes coaches can lean a little more on forgive and forget. So he's right back out there and running again.
Rodgers now to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a 1st down.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
Now a 2nd and 10. They run behind center with gain 1.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
In motion goes the tight end. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers.
That's caught right side. It's Warren.
And they call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Time for another drive here for this Jets offense. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
looking to put a drive together. He'll give it to Hall to start the drive. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
Ball again on 2nd down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory.
46 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Taking in left side, it's Wilson.
And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
That's good for a Jets 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Now Allen. Oh, no, he lost the football. Well, he's got some breathing room. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
So that's about as fortuitous of a bounce as you're going to find as it's scooped up and taken in for the touchdown.
And I love how you use the word fortuitous there because as that popped up, he just happened to be in the right place, grabbed it, and found his way into the end zone.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down.
Back to throw. Fields.
Slant pass has got Reynolds. And he is going to have a Jets 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's another Jets 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on, because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the quarterback? Right now, they're executing really well.
Yeah, he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. This is 3rd and 2, maybe the biggest play in this football game. A shotgun snap, Fields. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So here's Nick Folk in an important spot. This to swell the lead to 6. Folk's kick is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now, because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. After the made field goal, back out is Nick Folk to kick this one off. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. We've seen him do this many times in green and gold. Now he'll try to do it in black and gold. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers down by 6. A minute 50 to play. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Back to throw, Rodgers. Short throw to Smith. And he's going to get out of bounds with the 1st down, so that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Rodgers to throw. Short throw to Smith.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. Here's a 2nd and 7. Now Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now the Steelers use the 1st of their 3 timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. Back to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens in bounds.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. Short throw to Smith. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts, as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Final minute, one timeout remaining. 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Going for it all. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, these corners, I tell you, they've done excellent work all game long.
They remind me of guys in the past who just said, hey, throw it out here 100 times. Nothing good is going to happen. And if you throw it in the wrong place, I'll take it the other way.
Inside a minute to go. Here's 2nd and 10 now. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked up by Andre Cisco. And the Jets have just about sewn up this football game.
First and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Back on offense, New York gets set to take over.
And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
The Jets, with victory seemingly in hand, they take a knee.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Jets as we say so long from MetLife Stadium.